GM. Do you hear me well, Skew?
I do. GM, bro. We drag some windows around and then I can share screen.
What a week. What a session today.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely say that. But about a week of just pure shenanigans, like geopolitically. I guess like Fed as well a little bit. Like obviously, whenever Powell doesn't cut, Trump has a tantrum for like 5 or 15 minutes on Truth Social. All right. It does show my thing, my Bob. This is probably established enough.
All right, you guys should be able to see Skew's screen, and let's break into it. What do you see, Skew, on the chart?
Well, I mean, I think we've established enough of a value area range now to basically draw one. And I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Obviously, most of the volume has been traded around, like basically 104K. And obviously, the POC being quite literally exactly 104K, which is pretty clean. Obviously, like the impulse today, which I'll change to this tab. I think usually these moves are driven by something that triggered in like the underlying market. Like either someone has to cover because of a big expiry related to options or OPEX, or like potentially a headline which has not hit yet, but insiders know. So you get kind of like this like vertical candle move. You can also see someone like risked on quite about a K in BTC, but obviously this were shorts, right? We can also see it from like the CVD, basically the change. These are predominantly shorts as well. Yeah, other than that, I mean, as well as like the funding rate is about neutral rate now, from basically being flat or negative. And then if we
And quite a few alts, the funding grades are negative. Yeah.
The past like week or so, it's remained mostly negative, I would say, actually. Yeah, so we're starting to see neutral rate, which is that 0.1. 0.01, I mean. Hype was actually, I think, one of the coins which had like, is it, show me historically?
Yeah, I'm thinking about selling Hype. I feel like the news that a publicly listed company is going to buy Hype is the top signal. Yeah, so far I cut like 6 or 7% of my stock, and thinking about selling more.
As in what? Like increasing your size or decreasing? What do you mean?
Decreasing, selling Hype.
I mean, look at this like price. It makes sense. It's doubled basically since we talked about buying it.
Yeah, not sure if it's over for the rally. I see there is quite a bit of probability that is going to 30 bucks, and then we fight to basically keep the all the maze rally. But here I don't feel that comfortable holding the position anymore. Not sure if it's just a correction or the change of the trend.
I mean, so far it looks like correction to me. I think the point where it becomes more than correction, like change of trend, is probably where you lose this low here, which I'll make like purple, something like that. Yeah, so like this low basically, you breach that, which will be 33, 32, and it's also like the previous post TG high. Losing that would be obviously change in trend. So that would basically, I think, especially if like hype can't trade back above 32, 33-ish, that would probably be like the local top. As well as like, right now we have, this is like the initial trend systematically, right? It is already lost by looks of it. Which typically means like each bounce has a little bit of like supply, basically, as in like more and more sellers kind of stack onto each bounce. With that, if you see like very easy loss of momentum, consistently it kind of just drags lower. And a really good example of that is actually BTC, to be honest. Because like, for example, we had this massive move into supply, right? And then basically every bounce after it was just sold into. Obviously, like this kind of selling's TWAP, but like every bounce you could see after that was sold. Here. This is still being sold and shorted. Obviously, if it breaks above like around, I think this, I mean, it's a pretty key price actually, because previously this exact price, call it 106K, was basically supply and resistance. The market's still kind of toying around if it is or isn't here. It usually takes like a few hours at least to get the initial reaction to it before trading. Have you looked at ETH recently as well? I haven't.
I'm extremely bullish Ethereum. I think if season is right behind the corner, and as soon as the overall crypto market,
it's consolidating pretty nicely, actually.
yeah, I really like the range and the way it's consolidating. I think when we break through,
very clean.
Yeah, yeah, I think this is the moment when people should become bullish if there are narratives, TradFi, yeah. So I can't wait to maybe to see all if
Yeah, but we can have a look at that too.
Yeah. Also,
What do you
like,
think is going to happen with ETH?
Yeah, I think we are going for like 3,400 as soon as the market, like crypto market, settles down a bit in terms of like volatility, and like when we become optimistic again, because right now we crypto pros are selling. All ETFs this week had positive inflow, and they remain higher than average in terms of inflows, which indicates that we crypto bros are selling, and that's kind of gay, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, I saw an interesting post from the usual Bloomberg ETF guy, Eric, I think his name is. I forget like if it was Eric or the other guy. There's like two of them. But essentially, what he said in a recent post was over like the past 7 days, it's actually been higher than average inflows into most risk on ETFs. And the question is, right, is it smart money buying or is it retail? I'll pull up ATF data right now. I can usually tell as well. It's like I would say no. It looks like funds buying to me actually. Usually, like Fidelity is the big like retail one. They've actually been selling it. 17th.
Retail doesn't care, bro. Like when we were at like 108, a few friends reach out to me, ask, "Oh, I need to set up an account, blah blah blah." I would go come back to you. In 2 days, it's been 2 weeks. No one came back to me. That's my indicator. Uh,
I like that. Okay.
yeah, so we are selling into smart money like funds and so on. So I'm extremely bullish here, to be honest. We
Makes
might go
sense.
nowhere. I'm not sure how to play the war. I have absolutely no idea what's the play here. uh, but yeah, if season, and there is another token that I really love, but we'll mention that later. It's my highest conviction since quite a bit of time.
Interesting. Is that what just based off like value, or like
Yeah, it's a speculative play. It's not a micro cap. It's a mid, like less than 100 mil market cap. Yeah, really good product, and I think it has some legs. Yeah,
what
well,
kind of what sector is it?
AI.
Okay, okay. Are they doing like because it's the thing with most AI like projects? Is it the same as the competition or the industry? Or are they doing something slightly different, which makes it
This is
attractive and also
slightly different.
innovative?
So basically, they build a tool that helps you to create animated movies. So let's say I put my Pudgy there, and it can start talk, or I can animate it to walk through a forest. So that's the goal for them, to build. And so far, it looks quite okay. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. So like basically the bet on that is they're able to deliver um essentially what they're trying to sell, right?
Yeah.
Which
So the
is
alpha
an
is
AI that can animate properly.
Yeah, the alpha is that the product should be launched in 2 weeks, and there's absolutely no hype about it. No one cares. And usually, before a product launch, it's much better to sell than buy, because over almost every time, like,
It's
you
like
need,
overhyped.
yeah,
Right.
it's just sell the news, because the crowd isn't like surprised. But if there is no expectations and you deliver a great product, then that's the buy moment, and that's where I am betting my money quite heavily. We'll see about that, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a really interesting week. And if you guys want to hang out more with us, join Crypto Cantina. Next week, this Sunday. I'm heading forest, locking myself there for a few days. Basically, I can leave the forest when I turn $100 into 1,000, and Skew will be helping me with some trades ideas. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I mean we'll probably be like degenning a little bit in terms of like trades.
I think it's gonna be very much degening. Like, we have a few days to 10x the capital, so there, there won't be much risk management for like.
I mean, the legend Alex Weiss did it. Like he turned what like 100K into 10 mil in I don't know, like a few days or something, like retarded.
Yeah, that's the kind of run we need. Yeah. So 1K is the minimum goal, but if we turn it into 1 mil, then I don't mind. Like,
I mean, bro,
I will give you
no
guys
one's gonna say no to a mill. What the fuck? Speaking of AI, I was just having a look at this in the past like 2 weeks. Why is ICP at the top? Nah, dude. Last time, like ICP looked good. It was the top, by the way.
no, shit. Like ACP is such a bad coin. I don't want to offend anyone, but the valuation is so off, and the AI tag, like they can't do anything with AI. Okay, yeah, they are fast, and that's it. Like they have big RAM memory, but yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, I mean, chart kind of looks shit, to be honest. Like, I mean,
I think this
kind of
year,
look.
like the top on Bitcoin might be in already. I think we are going to have a crazy run, but I almost sure this year is the top for a bit of time. Like the amount of crypto companies going public, it indicates, usually historically it indicates top. It was the same in 2021 and in 2017 when miners were going public. Mm, yeah,
Yeah, true.
I've
Yeah,
been sorting out some data this week about that. Like, do you know that most of the miners are down 50% in the past year, and Bitcoin is up 75%? That's nuts. Most of miners
that
are,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's true because, and I don't think this has been really talked about that much. I mean, people have publicly talked about it, but everyone ignores it because they don't understand, I guess, or they don't care, maybe both. But operating like a mining operation now is extremely expensive. It's like basically more often you're burning money unless you have multiple venues which you can profit off. So then, like obviously the margins as well, like comparatively to like 2021 or even like obviously 2017, because the difficulty increases in the halvings, which is less rewards over time.
Yeah, one thing is difficulty. The second thing is hash rate. It's
Yeah,
much more competitive. I
yeah,
would
it's insane.
I wouldn't say it's energy cost because no one is mining Bitcoin in Europe. Like it's too expensive. Uh, all the miners are in Kazakhstan, in Paraguay, Iceland, those countries basically. Mm, uh, yeah, but oh, wait a second. There's a comment from Ben.
Uh, the
Okay, that's
companies are going public
Ben.
this time because there's interesting
Ben
technology.
says that companies are going public because there is demand from institutional clients.
I mean,
And in
that
2000,
that that is technically true because after, I mean, a lot of things changed from two things. The first being ETFs, right? Spot ETFs kind of like legitimized Bitcoin. It legitimized kind of the crypto space as well. Not all of it, because there's still a lot of dog shit in this space, to be honest. Um, but then obviously with the Trump admin, and they've been like kind of putting out the proper payment and pathway forward in terms of like classifying what a stablecoin is, what a token is, and I believe a big bill, the Genius Act, passed the Senate recently, has to go to the House, and then probably will get signed into um, being an actual thing. And that's obviously huge because the size of like money markets, the amount of money that moves through is trillions, and that's like massive because it's eventual and quite soon. I think that most of the original like kind of DeFi pioneers, their kind of innovations, especially around stablecoins, then become like a legit physical thing because it's in some way gonna be introduced into money markets, treasuries, uh, even like auctions probably in the future, and that's infrastructure wise like massive for crypto. That opens the doors to insane, like I can't even fathom. I don't think anyone can fathom the amount of money that's going to come into this space. It'll be like astronomically higher than we've ever seen. Which at the same time probably will predominantly go to a basket of assets. Like the top 5 or top 10. But like other than that, we're kind of in like a different, I wouldn't say like new, but like a different stage in terms of where crypto potentially can go, since it's kind of legitimized now, right? Uh, Maybe similarly to kind of how AI was kind of like a gimmicky thing in 2017, 2018, 2019, and now it's become like a very legit product. Everyone's using it, everyone's introducing it, integrating it, innovating on top of it. It's kind of like that.
I don't know, feel stoppish when Circle is trading at like 46 bill market cap, uh, and USDC market cap is 66 bill. Uh, yeah, either USDC is going to $2 or $3, or Circle needs to go down.
I mean, UCC probably won't. Like, there's been historical moments, obviously, where like Tether has wicked up quite a lot, but that was mostly due to quoting issues. Like stablecoins are meant to basically stay within a tight range, right? But the market cap can grow exponentially as more's minted.
That was a joke.
Wait, actually, because dude, I've been seeing so many posts where people legitimately are betting on a $3 USDC.
No, no, no. It was a joke from my side. I might not be the sharpest pencil in the box, but I'm not that. Uh, yeah, it was a joke. I think it's the bet on Circle is that Fed is actually going to roll the debt using USDC to not dilute the USDT, the real one. Yeah, but a funny fact is, if Tether was about to go public with the same price to earnings ratio as Circle, it would be worth as much as Amazon.
As a what?
As much as Amazon.
Per sure.
No, like as a company, the valuation
I
would
mean,
be
yeah,
the
like
same.
it's like Tether's actual like valuation is kind of like a funny thing. It's way higher than people think.
But to be honest, I'm not sure why Tether would go public. Like they have such a great business. It's money business. They make so much money. It's the most profitable
I mean,
company
think
in the
about it
world.
like from like a business standpoint. Going public opens a lot of doors. I mean, they've been able to operate obviously for like 10 years, right? And they've grown like exponentially. But kind of like the next phase, always with newer businesses, technologies, is to go public at some point. I mean, yeah, in terms of financial markets, that typically is a top. Like Coinbase going public was a top. I don't know. I don't. It's kind of. I can't like personally compare any of the factors currently to 2021 because the market's not frothy. There's definitely not the same amount of leverage in the system. Um, yeah, I would say even like structurally, it's completely different since ETF started. I would say specifically since then. And I mean, you can as well see it if I go to Velo data and we have a look. Yeah, so like in a year, literally, the basis, the quarterly basis, which previously would have been like 15 or 20%. Yeah, in previous bull runs, like at least in a move like from 76 to 111k, right? This would have been like 15%, but it's 5%. And ETFs had a huge impact on that, as well as like Athena's business model. So like it's actually evolved the space to be like more capital efficient, more mature. So it's like harder to use previous cycle signals as top signals now, I think. Yeah, look, 15% was the previous top. And then this was when shit kind of blew out from ETFs. It's actually crazy low. Yeah, even CME's Emily's basis is pretty low. I'd say a key difference looking at this is the amount of retail leverage comparatively is probably lower, but the amount of institutional leverage now is highest. Obviously not higher than November. Crazy. $46,000. It's 46 bill. Have you seen this as well, Daldo? Where's your mic working?
No, it's working, but I'm checking the data and I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Like, look how low the volatility is. Like, even the historical's lower than IV. Like, IV's left a little bit, but I mean, that's crazy.
Interesting.
Basically, it's one of the cheaper times to have some kind of option positioning. So if you think like, BTC is going to make an all-time high of like 100 and I don't know 80K or something, but like early next year, then like obviously expiring and like that would like 45% is like pretty cheap. Obviously, when there's like froth, it's like double that.
If options then would be good here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the volatility time structure tends to increase anyway, but I mean, it's not increasing a lot, to be honest. It's very like CZ. Yeah, we can see in the previous week, this is basically the priced low in volatility where we are currently. And also, what's like pretty interesting is in terms of the market being around an equilibrium, like 100K strike price being, the biggest, both psychologically, but also like value wise. We could see between 100K and around about 105. that's essentially where you get pretty clear decay, which means like taking an options position with a strike price of like 100k, 105k, especially like with price trading like 102 to like 104, will decay the shit out of your position unless you're betting on like like 115k calls out of the money, or probably like 95k. Yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway. Tangent aside, ETH does look very constructive for once. Like it's riding trend, consolidating super nice, very clean consolidation actual clear exception for the market above like these highs. Say price grinds up, it would likely pop straight like that and then continue to run. That's typically what ETH does. Wow, Solana's weaker. They're very clear pivot here. So if market does break up, Sol should grind higher. Obviously, losing that low would be pretty risk off. Huh. $29. Yo, Dodo.
Yes, sir.
There actually is a similarity between 2021 and current market in terms of how market's been trading. So like specifically this pullback, right? You see this on BTC, right?
Yes, I see.
All right, now if we go to kind of the favorites of retail, right? It's like Solana. We know Sol got like slammed here, and it has not been the same since. It's also weaker than BTC. And then if we go to another favorite like Doge, exact same thing except weaker. Right, and then if we go back to, I'll use a different chart for this. It's kind of trading like this. Like we had this huge pullback. Obviously, nothing like equating to the size of this.
Yeah, that was 50%. But yeah, I agree. It
Yeah.
looks similar. To be honest, if you posted that on X, it would get probably a few 100K views. Yeah, so go on, big dog, and because then we pumped and we did a new all-time high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that drop. It was nuts.
Yeah, and plus like all the like Solana, for example. Both Solana and Doge, they're trading around like key areas exactly like this. Like this little consolidation thing here, that was like the low, and then it just kept like wicking into it for like ages. And then eventually failed, Literally, we failed to break down. Nothing happened, and then Alameda ran it back. So like obviously this season's Alameda are like public companies that are just T-whopping the shit out of Bitcoin.
Well, now we have MicroStrategy, so
True. I mean, let's hope they don't blow up.
I mean, I kind of hope for that. Like, imagine how cheap Bitcoin could be and how cheaply we could buy
Well,
it.
it depends, like where from, and I mean, I don't think it happens like in the near term at all. Like something really fucked would have to hit like financial markets to the point where like everyone thinks banks are going to fail again. Which, yeah, obviously is the time to buy usually when that happens.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
as Ben texted that Solana was so 2024, and I agree. I don't see a world where Solana is outperforming the overall crypto markets anymore. Like, I don't see any
yeah, no, true.
bullish catalyst now. And yeah, ETF, but who cares? Like, Ethereum has an ETF for like year and a half, a year, and no one is buying that.
What ETH?
Yeah, there was an initial pump, and then we traced the whole thing, and we are a year later. We are trading at exactly we are trading lower than after the ETF approval.
Yep, true. It was here. It was basically 4K. It's what 30% lower. 30, yeah, 37%.
I
Yes.
remember that rally. I was betting heavily on if ETF getting approved before Bloomberg announced that their analytics thinks there is quite a bit of chance.
Oh, yeah,
But
so you would have been betting like here.
yeah. But it was a
Dude, what a
bad,
move.
basically risk reward ratio. That time I didn't have size, that much size, and I didn't bet with size, but I bet heavily enough to enjoy the rally pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, on like 10x, that like it would have been almost.
I
That's a
mean,
nice payday. I'll put it that way. Jesus.
yeah, it was such a good risk, probability trade. I really like probability trades. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, especially when the market kind of supports it. Like you have really well defined low. Yeah.
Yeah, no one was expecting if ETF approval, and I was like, okay, if they don't approve, like the price isn't going anywhere, but if they approve, it's gonna rally
Yeah, I
so
mean,
hard. Yeah, that
this
was
this would have been the reaction. Like you're basically betting like your risk would have been 9%, and your returns 10 times that.
yeah.
Literally, good
Yeah,
play.
but now it's easy. If I knew at that time, I would just buy shitload of call options. But I convinced one of my friends, and he made quite a bit of money through options.
Options.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
rally.
like even now, like since volts are low, it's cheap as hell. Like doing some
Yeah.
narrative related bets at least makes
Even the
sense.
chart was looking quite similar at that time to now. Like the volatility wasn't that big on ETH.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a little bit like a little bit higher than average, what I remember. Um, yeah, have a look at this. Like it tends to obviously be higher than BTC, but I mean, like, yeah, 50%. Like, if you think ETH is going to pull some like massive move, I don't know, like 6 months, it's not too bad. There might be a little bit, like, there probably will be more vol decay, which may also decay the value of your position. Probably would. Obviously, if you get like the timing uh, wrong within 6 months. But I mean that is your risk that you're taking basically.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I sold Palantir. I was a huge. It was a very meaningful part of my portfolio in January or February 2024. It was like, I don't know, 1921 bucks, and I full port it Ethereum that time with that money.
Wait, full ported what?
Ethereum. I sold Palantir to buy Ethereum. 2021, 2024 February.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, yeah. I just reminded myself about that.
Wait, what does that stock even look like? It's like
It
Palantir.
it's 135, 140, and it was like 19, 20. And I don't know, TradFi money feels different.
True. I mean, this stock only really moves because like someone's getting bombed, basically.
Yeah, that time I didn't know about Ukraine and Iran.
Well, I mean, there's been now like 3 or 4 pretty big-ish conflicts.
Or actually, I knew because
Wow.
Ukraine war. It's been already 2 years. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
my
So Ukraine was 2022.
yeah. I
Damn,
mean, we
dude, look at
still
this.
see the volatility data if you're checking any chart. Uh,
My bad.
yeah,
Yeah, I was having a look at this.
February 2024, I sold Palantir to buy Ethereum. Yeah.
Dude, it went up like vertical.
Yeah. I will let you know once I sell Wu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets.
You learn not to care over the years. Don't worry.
I mean, yeah, I have a few other bad trades, but yeah, or missed opportunities. But yeah, that's a funny one.
You got me thinking now. So hypothetically, right? Say US strikes Iran, right? That would probably be a temporary top for like a lot of defense stocks, right?
Yeah, agreed, definitely.
Because I mean that's a like pretty big event actually.
Yes. I even tweeted like this week, when I trade, I chew for peace, but if I work for locked head Martin, I would be full of joy. Yeah.
Wait, what happened in October 2024? Holy shit, dude. These moves are insane for a defense stock. Oh, that was wow. It actually affected. Okay. That would have been the dip to buy. That's insane. One video. Wait, wrong one. Isn't it funny? Like all like boomer stocks, I'll call it like TradFi, have like literally the exact same uptrend PA. It's always this, and then on the down, it's the exact same. It's funny. I mean, we kind of see it in Bitcoin now, actually. Like, I mean, I can tell you, this. What the fuck? Like this move probably was ETFs buying. I'm pretty sure like this uptrend was probably IBIT. Was IBIT, and then there was also Sailor that bought somewhere here. Where we
Wow,
actually getting
500
getting
people are
bonus?
watching us. That's a pretty good result after not streaming for like 2 or 3 weeks.
500.
Yeah, 500 people.
Decent. Someone's trying to cause Bitcoin to go up. It's pretty obvious when they just continue to quote like these lows, and you can confirm it basically from the wick as well as the bids. And like every time they do it, since obviously we have ask depth here, which basically means it's this higher size of asks closer to price within 5%. You see a little bit of decrease as well, and here too. That's pretty clean. I mean, obviously, clearly for us to change how Bitcoin's been trading, such as the past week or two, we need to crack above 106.5K. Yeah, if we look at it on perps, it's pretty funny. Like, yeah, this liquidity here was used to buy into. So this candle is obviously longs, and obviously shorts got blown out. CBD continues to decline with OI going up. Shorts closing here. S is definitely the time to watch it because you're seeing aggressive positioning into this move and then a ton of positioning decay after. So like sweats are shorting. Longs aren't really chasing yet, in my opinion. Or they haven't since this like two up. Which obviously, you know, if price goes around 105K or below, you'll see like a pretty big long get wiped out.
Have a look who joined us.
Oh, Richard. Wait, is
Yeah.
he backstage?
Not yet. I can't add him. He needs to connect his device, but as soon as he does it, I will add him. Yeah.
Nice. I've been trying out recently, which was pretty good. I looked into it. I kind of use this as an aggregate tool instead of like that super detailed like order flow template that I have on the other one. It's been pretty good. So we can see, you know, basically these lows have been bought up consistently on aggregate terms by the market. And then obviously around 106K, you're seeing like underlying profit taking. And then the other positioning is obviously people trying to short this because they think it's a dead cat or unsustainable bounce. Oh, and then there's a pretty nice feature.
GM Richard.
GM, is it audible now?
Yeah, everything
Yes,
worked.
Perfect. So nice to see you guys again, or hear you again.
Yeah, it's been a while, unfortunately, but finally the crew is back.
True
All
that.
good. I was listening to you guys just in the background, and now I was able to join finally.
Nice. Yeah, I was yapping about various crap.
Yeah, and it's really good that you're showing this, Skew, because lately it's been a huge struggle for me to find like an alternative for trading light. It's still being ass, totally. It's
Yeah,
working
I haven't found it
sometimes.
well.
Yeah, and like there is, I think, Bookmap and the Market Monkey that I know, and this, but I think this only shows the perpetual.
Yeah, I've got to try out MMT. MMT looks pretty good. And I know the dev behind it as well as like quite talented, I would say. Also, this is like free, so that's like why I'm using it. So anyone can basically try it, rather than it being like kind of paid. Wait, did Michael drop?
Yeah, I think he dropped. Don't know what happened.
He probably closed the tab or something. That's funny.
Yeah, so it's been a huge struggle lately, because I was heavily relying on trading light for my execution intraday, low time frame, and no real alternative. I mean,
Yeah, there really wasn't at the time. I mean, you had like a few different platforms that had like a bits and pieces of what you needed. Like Velodata had spot and perp data, but didn't have heat maps. So then that was like trading light. Now we're
correct.
actually seeing more towards the direction of everything in one space, which is basically what I think traders need. It's what they have in TradFi, except like per usual, crypto's 2 or 3 years behind that.
Yeah, you're right. I fully agree. Again, like the heat map as well as the footprint. That's like in a combined way. Not many platforms offering this for free.
True. I haven't tried the footprint yet. Merge level 3. Interesting.
It's pretty nice. At least the last time I checked. The only problem is I couldn't check the spot. Yeah, it's there.
That's actually kind of good.
Yeah, it's usable. Michael, you back?
Yeah, I am. I don't know why, but my network went off and I was kicked out. Yeah.
It's the cabal, bro.
Yeah, it's probably Cabal. No, actually, I'm using hotspots from my phone, and someone called me, and I had to pick that up, and then I don't know why the hotspot wasn't working. Uh, yeah, a guy from whom I'm renting Starlink for the forest stream called to double check the address.
Fair enough. This is not a bad footprint. Okay, yeah, well, I'm not using that. That's cooked. Yeah, I think 1 to like 5 is pretty good. I'll use 3 for now. It's pretty important because you can basically just see like whenever positioning is taken at the low or the high, and Algo is just farming it right now. Like for example, this. Yeah, like any excessive delta and like volume is just getting counter traded. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I do expect like quite a bit of chop here.
also considering the OPEX post session or at the session close, I think 60 for IBIT is the big level, which lines up with 105 point something, 105, which is I think the pivot of this range in a range zone. Yeah,
makes sense.
But like, I like these type of environments much more, because I think we have like 100 and 110 to play with. So I think that will give like beautiful trading opportunities over the summer chop.
I mean, that makes sense. I was like talking about this before. Like, if we actually go to the Deribit like options data, right? I mean, you just go to the simple strike, which covers today. Wait, how do I do? I think
Which
it's just
site is it, by the
today's
way?
expiry. Wait, what?
Which site is it, by the way?
Greeks.
Greeks.
Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
They have some good data. I would use it.
Yeah, I was using Amber data, but this looks also pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Amber data is like probably elite. I would say, like the best of the best, at least when it comes to like institutional grade data and tools. I used to use it. I mean, I like to use kind of like freely or easily available tools so people can like, actually access it and then like learn from it, be able to trade with it. But I mean, that's just me personally. But yeah, either way, like I believe across most strikes, you see a pretty well defined range that's being quoted by like MMs, dealers, firms, which is essentially 100K to about 110, which is the current like price range. And then you're seeing a ton of decay, which is obviously being farmed like massively. Like anyone that's trying to farm Delta or like Theta, Vanna, whatever is obviously printing in this range. All right, we've got the close. You got close here. I do want to see a pullback, to be honest. So like some kind of like wick. Yeah, like 105 2 and then up. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think New York would provide like a dip into this 105.8, 105.5 pivot. That would be a nice buy. By the way, I was like checking your updates and I really resonated with them. I also like exploited, I think, most of this during the week. I think, I see this value area you just applied to the chart, and it's funny because the June's value area, I think the value area low of June is the POC of this big consolidation POC.
Makes sense.
So that's a strong level, 104.
Yeah,
and also I think the order book depth was like extremely thick in that area. So that was a good place to bid, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was. As well as we saw like literally so many attempts to break down, including like some firm like got really impatient the other day and started trying to crash the market. And whenever you see that kind of like pricing and positioning where they get extremely impatient and aggressive, it usually means like FOMO, hungry, as well as they're about to give up on that positioning. Because obviously, if they can't get what they want, which is to crash the market, they're just going to flip.
True. I mean, the short build up was like really visible throughout the whole week, but at the same time, like shorting into, yeah, they are still actually, well, like shorting into or selling short into like heavy spot demand, which you could obviously spot, and I think that's a huge edge, right? So with 5% depth, seeing such a bit skewed environment, that's I think a pretty good guide. and like seeing multiple attempts. It was pretty choppy, right? Because we had Thursday as a public holiday, so no TradFi trading. But so you had to survive, because actually I got long on Wednesday's New York close. And I was also surprised that FOMC was a pretty big nothing burger. Been expecting, but there was like zero volatility throughout the FOMC session. I was actually trading that live.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nothing burger. Like, it was basically expected. Plus, I mean, the neutral rate is still basically 3%. And then they increase the dots a little bit, but I mean, the increasing of the dots is kind of meme in itself, because they're only doing that because of the like tariff trades, tariffs being kind of fucked as it is, and the trade talks going nowhere. So they know the imbalance is created by this, creates pricing pressures. Eventually, they get thrown to businesses and consumers, right? So they have to be like restrictive, quote unquote, to avoid quote unquote inflation, right? But I think honestly, Powell's making, I mean, well, not just Powell, but Fed as a whole is making a policy error. Because I think, like, honestly, the admin's going to be forced to pivot in terms of how they're going about tariffs and trade talks. Like, they should have been successful already. Clearly, something's wrong. It's not going to plan. They're going to have to pivot quickly. Otherwise, they're going to face the consequences. And as is, like with Trump's approval rates basically plummeting, he can't afford that kind of shit show. Because obviously, like, if the economy goes to shit with the current like unrest in the US, things will get really, really bad.
That's what's probably everyone's eyeing on.
That's what?
Everybody's like looking at like closely. And the whole week, because I was really surprised the first bombs or first bombing happened on a Friday. So not a typical, let's do this over the weekend when things are closed. And like the whole market-wide reaction, and I don't know if you guys talked about this, but I was really protective. I was like, I didn't first understand why risk didn't sell off like more. So something was really stinky in this whole thing. I mean, okay, US is not yet involved, but still, headlines were there. There were like unusual amount of news, flip-flop headline news, which still,
it's
told
still
relatively,
like very mixed signals.
Yeah.
You're absolutely spot on. Like, in the past day, 2 days, I would say, no one knows what the fuck the admin's gonna do, because Trump would like hint to it, then he would go back on it constantly. But also historically, Trump is known to do that. So you can't like exactly price in this kind of event per se very easily. It's very snappy, which means obviously the market's going to get whiplash pretty much constantly. So with that, you're seeing a lot of like defensive positioning, because money knows volatility is going to remain pretty high.
No, that's spot on, and therefore I really try to be, extremely cautious. What am I doing in the market over the week? Because I was like, I don't know, I was like constantly looking at when is the real headline is coming, when shit hits the fan, risk sells off, and stuff like this, and then you see a pump from the weekly open. Probably to scale into some protective hedges there, all similar to last week, but still it was just a weird reaction from the market. It was really hard to gauge what is happening.
Yeah, I noticed like everyone's been kind of looking at the same thing, which is how does the market react to each headline, and like what actually happens. Like I put out a tweet of like, basically a lot's going to come out in terms of headlines and like threats between obviously Iran and Israel, right? But like the the thing to watch is actually what happens in terms of impact. I've been watching it pretty closely, so I think it's very close to the point where both sides realize it's like fucking stupid, right? It is. And in terms of like their people, in terms of how it affects them, so like obviously the damage I think is more extensive than IDF thought was actually going to happen. They've undermined and probably kind of complacently took their kind of move. So they're pretty desperate in terms of getting the US involved. So that's going to tell the market one thing, right? So like obviously defensive stocks will continue to go up. Gold as well will expectedly have a big move. I think the move's probably already played out for like energy in terms of it going to like 78. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see like another massive move really in oil unless it spreads to the whole region where oil sites in the collective OPEC are hit. At that point, then like oil probably runs to 90, which would be like obviously the Fed's worst nightmare because energy is predominantly the biggest cause of inflation.
Well, I mean, that is so true. So like watching oil and looking at this dumb, really totally unrealistic like oil price expectations for end of the year, something 110, 120. I mean, we're still ranging. We are in a 3-year range or something, and we couldn't even flip 80. Yeah. So it's just insane what was going around in the media. Yeah. And on the other hand, as defensive stocks, so I was looking at Rheinmetall's stocks or price lately. It's absolutely one of the best charts out there, I think.
I actually just I mean, I don't really use diagonals very often, but CL's like trading on a diagonal right now. So I mean, further escalation, could do the smooth brain of just taking a degen long towards like 80s. I may do that. No, we didn't really spend much time at all below 63. I know OPEC also increased output, I think, or plan to, but haven't yet, something like that, which is big for price. Our gold as well has pulled back. I don't see the market having priced in escalation at all. Like market's reaction at the moment's kind of thinking it's a bluff. Actually, yeah. Swiss franc went up a little bit.
Like you are spot on with this like market not seeing any signs of escalation yet, because since Trump took charge, like you could see some very telling prepositioning or like buying huge puts or calls before certain big tech announcements or some announcements before. So insiders should or would know. That's my bet. So price would tell us whenever escalation is coming. That I think that's granted.
Yeah, historically it's done that too, but yeah, I mean it hasn't this week, which is rare, like really rare. Well, that's actually a problem. I wonder. Fed moving up the dots, if it's due to the quote bond market vigilantes, which basically has been shorting U.S. Treasuries. Both are around 5%. That's pretty meh. Yeah, plus like 2 year, if the 2 year goes back above 4% sustainably, then it would make sense in terms of the Fed being hawkish. That would also mean probably no cuts until shit hits the fan, basically. Huh. Hey, Delda, you want
Yes,
a short coffee
sir.
with me?
Pardon me?
You want a short coffee with me?
Sure. Why not? I'm reading the resistance of stock operator, and he's saying there one of his worst trades was longing coffee.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, when did you long it though?
I think he longed the coffee after the cease after First World War, and they basically frozen the price of coffee within a range. And he knew that there is enough coffee in the market, so he was right. But the thing he didn't predict is that they will freeze the price, and yeah, that's how he lost quite a bit of money.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like the average DGen options player trying to take a bet on Bitcoin, only to find that deals keep it pretty pinned all the time.
Yeah, I think
Try to say nuts.
Jesse Livermore would enjoy crypto quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's James Wynn of his century.
The chainsaw. L1's pretty much the only thing that's positive at the moment this week. DeFi is leading it as well. I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot of narratives around DeFi at the moment. Like, especially after the Bybit move. Which I think anyone in DeFi kind of knew was coming. All right, what degen stuff should I check out for?
Thank you.
Or we hop off.
So the first one would be on Dex screener Ava. It's Ava AI, but the ticker alone is Ava. It's probably my
Isn't this the same one?
yeah, yeah, it's the same one. But I think currently it's my highest conviction bet. They're launching the
Oh, this
product.
one.
Yeah, I will test it next week. The chart looks awful, but it's on a major support. Yeah, I see a world where it does 5 or 10x. You
Interesting.
can
I mean,
you can
was
spot the
this
you can spot the winter mute algo here quite easily.
this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no. This was what, just correlation
Yeah.
to like the whole market, basically.
Yes.
It-
Yeah,
okay,
so they are
interesting.
launching the product. Next week, I'm in the beta test. I'll test it and I will let you know in the cantina if it's any good. But yeah, I think it has some legs. That's more or less my thesis, and I started to rotate my hype into it because I ran out of run out of stables at this point.
Damn, bro's full ported. What is this? Top holders.
No, I don't have that much tokens yet. I control a bit of the total supply, but not as much as I would like to.
Yeah. I usually always have a look at who owns.
Yeah, so the 34% is staking contract. The second one is Gate.io, and the third one is Wintermute. And last week they had 5.3%, so they are down like 0.5%.
I guess that makes sense. They're probably the primary sells on the bounces, which is kind of important. So like if that gets to like 2 or 1%, and price is kind of just shops around, eventually as well, with like if with growth, assuming they have growth on their product, like gradually price increases its curve essentially.
Got it. Yeah, so I really like it
Yeah,
here.
like, mhm.
Yeah, and I'm yet to allocate like very meaningful part of my portfolio into this.
Yeah, I mean, I probably won't until, like, for these kind of things, I like to kind of see that they have like an actual
Yeah,
product
that's
does
what I'm
something.
waiting for. I'm waiting for a confirmation on the chart that I am right. I have exposure and I'm happy to increase it as soon as chart shows me that I'm right and not retarded in this trade. So that's more or less the thought process. I can send you a total like overview that I did on the Ava, like what they do, what are the
Hello
dangers,
World AI.
because I've been pushing in a liquid folio to buy a bit of it.
What?
Yeah.
Hollow World AI.
Yeah, they have a partnership with Pudgy Pingus and Disney, which is quite interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, if there is
Well,
any,
I mean,
what's up?
I can't say much directly, but as far as I'm aware, there is some people inside of Times testing out some stuff with this, apparently, that I've seen.
Pardon me? There are people testing the product?
Like, insiders are basically interested in the tech, I think.
Yeah, I'm the insider. Like next week I'm testing it. They chose like 20 or 30 people who can test it from like token holders.
Ah, okay, so you
Yeah.
have to have a certain percentage to basically do it.
No, it was like there was a form and you could just
Sign up
say
to
that.
it.
Yeah, sign up. I try, but I was texting the official Twitter account to make sure the guy who reached out to me is real. Yeah, so basically they are collecting feedback on user experience during those calls, and apparently in 30 minutes you should be able to do your first AI video. Yeah, so
Huh,
I will
that's interesting.
let you know how it looks.
All right, so like also there's a bit of like edge, I guess, the agent market. So essentially the agents that have higher capacity in terms of delivering XYZ will then have a higher market cap. So like if there's a new agent which is like an iteration better than Ava, for example, right? That would be like a pretty good bet. Because you'd
Yeah, but
assume like the quality, so let's say like the quality to like whatever is worth 216 mil, right? And there's a new one that launches for like 5 or 10 mil. That's a lot of upside.
yeah, but the play on virtual was that the first mover was virtual, the main token, and Luna, the first AI agent. And then you had AI 16Z.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So people bought that for the upside within the narrative in the market,
yeah.
basically.
So the first mover was from AI agents was Luna, and the second one was AI XBT. Uh, Yeah, so you need to scan those tokens, those projects, but it's usually the first official AI agent from that project that moves first. And Ava is like the official token of the whole ecosystem. It's not like Virtual and Luna, it's just Ava.
Uh, okay, they have a credit system as well. See, like the Gigabrain thing I would do is basically work out how much they're making off credits, and if in their tokenomics, which I don't see here.
I don't think they make anything from credits yet, since the product isn't live.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is something you could probably propose to them is basically use the credits like a certain percent of it, kind of like within DeFi how DeFi projects that make fees off trading or swaps, they then use that for like buybacks. Or they've like funnel it into their token essentially and feed it to stakers or something like that.
Yeah,
It's like
I'll go with them.
whatever they make from the credit system would be pretty good for the token.
Yeah, so that's what I have found recently, and I think it's interesting.
Fair enough.
Can you
It
have
is.
can you take a look on Pour, the
Cool.
the hyperliquid? Sorry, but my dog is barking in the background.
What does he want attention?
Yeah, probably, but she ain't getting any now.
Wait, which one is it? I assume this one. Oh wait, this one, right? Slash USDC, yeah.
Yeah, this is the one.
We just got a shib in real life, right?
Wait, what?
We just got a shib in real life. I mean, Michael's
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. I mean, he does have a shit viral.
Yeah, because I entered the trade at like 28 cents, and I'm not sure if I should cut. Like I was supposed to watch the chart, but I forgot about the position.
My question is, who's selling it? Because I mean, someone's like, who's selling that? Is it someone that bought here? I mean, other than that, like it has a nice upwards curvature with the price. It's obviously correlated to hype as well. So like if hype continues to be weak,
Yeah,
so will per.
yeah.
But also like per would be dumped first, first hype, in my opinion.
Okay, noted.
Which could also explain why it's had like these kind of sharp drops already. What's its value? 130 mil. And this is basically like that kind of like ecosystem community coin, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
It was really good to be beta hype long, and now I'm not sure what to do. So I have the same issue with Ave and Pengu. I opened some longs and I forgot about them, and now I discovered the position negative to 100% both. But I have some collateral there, so I won't be liquidated. But yeah, I have.
Oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
Damn. Wow, that's brutal.
That was a really good airdrop, bro. Like per Pudgy, I got like 95k
Per Pudgy.
per Pudgy per one NFT. Yeah, I sold the
Wow.
top.
Okay. I mean, no wonder the chart looks like that then. So it was obviously like really rewarding for the long-term community, but obviously that means you get token crashes like that.
Yeah, I hope that the abstract chart will look the same with abstract token. And give me again 95k per Pudgy, and I'm very happy, man.
Fair enough. What does abstract look like? Is there like a pre-market for it?
That there is no token yet. I'm not sure if there's any pre-market considering like XP or anything that you can calculate or base the airdrop on.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be quite similar as Pengu. If they were able to list a meme coin on 5 bill, they should be able to do that with layer 2. And the chain is quite like enjoyable. I use it quite a lot. Even now we are live on Abstract. But yeah, yesterday their Twitter account was hacked, which isn't that good.
They got hacked yesterday, bro.
Yeah,
It was probably through a secondary account. That's usually like someone that has permissions to push to the main account.
I have no idea, but that was the case yesterday. I was texting those guys, "Hey guys, I think your account got compromised," and yeah, we know. Yeah, so I got the awful underwater pangolong, uh, and same on Ava. But on Ava, I feel quite comfortable. I think since I'm bullish on ETH, and I think Ava is really good beta long for Ethereum season, then it's fine, and I'm sure the collateral will hold the pressure. Will hold the pressure.
Speaking of ETH,
Yeah,
what
I
was that
was also
one
going to bring up Ave or Ave.
Yeah,
of it?
yeah. I mean, I'm so far negative, like
Yeah,
180%.
it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, I remember in the cantina some people long Abe, and yeah, the Yuliapin was the target, like through and out. Still looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, like obviously that's your initial rejection of Yuliapin and accepting like value higher than you, basically. Yeah, I still think like honestly we probably need Bitcoin to not trade like ass for everything to go up like per usual. The huge. What is ENS like? Really dead. Well, you can tell the last time I was looking at it. 20 November 2023 was the last time I checked ENS, apparently. What was that? That one? I forget the name of the project. It's a high beta Ethereum project. They had like ETH staking or something like that.
Lido.
Yes, thank you.
The ZK Sync token was a joke, by the way.
Wait, what?
You know ZK Sync token?
I do not.
Okay, never mind then. It's
Wait,
us.
what token?
It's us. ZK Sync, the layer 2 chain on Ethereum. Yeah. They get compromised and like someone dumped like 20% of total supply.
Jesus. That ain't good. Damn, this was once like the flagship token of the ETH ecosystem, by the way.
Yeah, it used to be.
Look at this. I guess that's like the most critical layer held here. Now we're trading below it. That's insane. I mean, it is like a 2021 coin, basically. That's wild. It reminds me of DAW, I guess, at this point. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the 2021 coins, each bounce is getting sold by bag holders.
I mean, with Polkadot, there were also other issues like paying shitty QOLs 100K per year that no one heard of.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty stupid, yeah.
Yeah, it was run quite poorly, in my opinion. And it is poorly run.
What about DYDX? I've been doing incentivization programs and stuff recently. Yikes, what the fuck? Whoa. From 26 all the way, wow. Yeah, I mean, to kind of catch upside on a token like that, you need to see above you. I mean, that would be like massive move though, from 50 cents like a dollar, $1.20. Interesting. I'm going to look into some numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some clear correlation between like hyperliquid cannibalizing obviously most DEXs and like the token value. Because if a lot of people pivoted very quickly to hyperliquid, they would like dump a lot of tokens for it, or hype it, at least at the time.
I mean, Hyperliquid rewarded many people as me, so we are there for money. But as soon as the money is gone, we will be.
Right. I mean, yeah, I've heard that. Like a lot of people say they like initially a lot of people were like, yeah, the tech's great, it's cool. Mostly because it's new, right? And then after that, a lot of people kind of looked other places for better tech. So like a lot went back to terminals and such, and Bybit after apparently. Also, that guy's kind of right. The YouTube comment. in terms of retail traders using AI to like understand the market and take positions. People actually do that, yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Wait, actually, I hope not. I better be a joke.
It is.
Good, otherwise I would have like smacked you, bro.
I mean, I love to make silly jokes with, full, with being like super serious.
That's funny. You'll say it with like a straight face as well. Like, I bet one day you're gonna be like a blue 100 million. You'll have a straight face, except like this time you won't be joking. All right, BTC moving or chopping, pretty much.
Yeah, but nicely held this 105.8, this infamous level, and trying to fill up the wick, the upper wick.
Yeah, I mean, it looks constructive on lower time frame. Unlike the 4 hour, it looks like it will pull back. Kind of funny.
I still think, we have seen in the past, like debasing significantly from the critical options level, then like a magnet falling back or like pulling back to that level at the end of the session. So yeah, I'll be probably away, and I got my move. So fortunately or luckily, I not really my concern what happens with New York. Probably we got a more clear picture and more organic environment next week. So yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's also Friday, so we have to take that with a grain of salt as well.
True.
To compare this with yeah, interesting. It's like previously, whenever the dominance went up for Bitcoin, Sol was obviously a high beta to Bitcoin. It's clearly reversed now, whereas Ethereum is actually the high beta choice over Solana.
That's really interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we can see it like clearly, yeah. I mean, yeah, this like, this chart will probably go below yearly open if ETH rips with BTC. And at that point, you also probably get degenerately long into Solana, because it would try to catch up at least a little bit.
And then Skew, by the way, just from maybe from an institutional perspective or your experience, years of experience. So what is your view on the so-called summer chop, low volatility period? So how do you approach, or would you approach, not to get or like to survive? Obviously not to avoid, because I don't think like totally checking out of the market is a good thing. I think you should like keep track on a daily basis. At least that's what I do.
Yeah. I'd say, if there's no direct obvious trend, play the range. If you're into options, then like low volatility is usually a good time to take out of the money possessions. Based around what's probable to happen. I mean, you could even do both puts and calls in terms of farming, like Delta as well. But yeah, I mean, mostly just play the range, play, I mean, to make it more simply, play value areas.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think value areas are perfect guides in such environments, and like to focus on the extremes. So really, one thing I've really tried to focus on and implement into my process is totally avoid mid-range price action, mid-range chop. It can be like a range in a range, but eventually just a range mid-range chop.
I agree. That's basically what I said yesterday or the day before. I forget exactly. That I'm essentially not interested until Bitcoin's above 105k. So it is now. It's like now for me, I'm like basically closely watching it. Continued strength like today, then we can target a sweep of probably this block here, like a sweep of 107. Anything higher than that would likely wick above 110. And obviously, when you take any kind of bias with a trade as well, you want as much confluence as possible. It's like, right now, RSI above 50. Initial systematic for our EMAs around the weekly open, as well as like the entire week. Markets traded like 105, 106 as like a key area. So like essentially any lower time frame dips down from here, you'd want to see the market buy that up. And if you see that, then it's like you have all the confirmations to be like risk on.
Yeah, great stuff. Another thing which I think is remarkable is the amount of time we spent above 100k, right? So I think previously when we went above 100k, we could not spend enough time to get acceptance above. Right now, it seems to be shifting. So it seems to be like a value is building above 100k, and as you said in one of your posts, I think this 104 TL 106 seem to be the fair price of this zone we are.
Yeah, pretty much. Like markets kind of questioning, where fair price is right now. So they've been like, it's basically chopping between 104, 106. Then price tends to lead the next stage of the narrative. And like, if based on current events, bullish for Bitcoin, then the market will then see and accept a higher value than 106k. If not, then it accepts below 104. And you essentially just trade within the direction of that becomes trend.
Should we wrap it up anytime soon? We are live for
I think
almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about the stream setup you were, mentioning in our chat in Cantina? And also, I'm really glad to see how Cantina is growing. Really good conversations, really good content inside. Yeah,
true.
it's going to be brilliant.
I like the community. It's pretty cool. Surprisingly for like CT as well, like the debates I've had now, or like discussions are pretty civil. So I mean, I like personally, as someone that runs it, I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I'm out of my place this week, so I don't track Cantina this carefully. But on Sunday, when I log in into the forest, I will definitely look there for some ideas. Yeah,
I can create like a channel for you if you want.
that would be great. We could jump also on voice chat with all the people from stream. Yeah,
I want to create like a little like
easily.
abstract section or something like that, because I mean, why not support abstracts community, but also create a little section like basically like any of the abstract streamers essentially want like a trader based community. They can then use it. They can use like the VC like section, as
Yeah.
well as like other streamers like you, right, on Abstract can then like share ideas, threads, etc.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Big weekend.
Yes, sir.
I think we'll be in touch, right?
Yeah, I'm in the container like every day.
Whatever
You can just-
headline drops.
Yeah, please no war.
Yes, that'll be in the container.
Please no war. All right,
Oh, it
guys.
is blood witching, by the way, today.
Yep.
Oof.
But the volatility so far is very low for such an event.
It is. I think a lot of positioning's been like pulled from the market in the past week. There's likely a shitload of institutional capital just sitting on the side, basically. Whatever the outcome is of the current shenanigans, there'll be a ton of volatility behind that because capital will just ape into it.
All right, got it. Let's wrap it up here and talk to you in Cantina.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for today and see you next week.
Absolutely.
All right.